Alright, so I'm back, and today, as promised, I've got the Warbotron guys here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to try and give you guys as many scale comparisons as possible today. I obviously I can't do an entire my entire collection, so I just picked as a big handful of them of figures to look at and kind of compare them, so you guys can get a really good sense of the scale, because a lot of people are asking about how big they are, and are they really as massive as everyone says they are, kind of thing. Sorry, I was looking for hound. I can't find my hound. Alright, so I think the easiest way to go about this is to, just set these guys off, and just bring in other characters, and then just one by one. We shall start with, let's start with the Seeker Jet. So here's the classic Seeker Jet. As you can see how big he is in comparison to a deluxe plane. Significantly bigger, as you can see. Which a space shuttle should be, but there he is with the Jeep. And there he is with the tank. I don't have all these guys' weapons attached and such at the moment, just because that take extra time, and this is already going to be a long video, I can tell. Now let's go against my iGear Seekers, which have replaced the classic Seekers for me. So here they are. See how big they stack up. So fairly big. The Jet is definitely bigger than these guys, which is about appropriate. Although, if you really go into scale, there's no way that this guy would be in the same team, because he'd be bigger than all three of these put together. But, that's just logic there. So, see, he's not as long or as wide, so he's just not as big at all. So there he is with that, and then once we're done, I will flip everybody over to robot mode so you can see how that one stacks up. So let's do some Autobot cars, shall we? Here is Mirage and Swindle. See how those stack up. I mean, I think, if you're scale stickler, I think a Hummer would be bigger than a little race car. So I think this is about appropriate. But then again, then we go into a tank, which the tank should be much bigger. So, and the space shuttle, which should dwarf this. Okay, so yeah, Mirage, Swindle. Not too bad there. Let's go with Classics Silver Streak, or Blue Streak if you will. Kind of get a good idea how big those guys are together with the tank. With this big shuttle. And in case you're wondering about that, Masterpiece Prowl. So, I mean, if you're going with scale for just this guy, I would say he's probably a little too small for a Masterpiece scale. Whereas Classic scale looks like he's about right. And the tank, which would be completely off scale for Masterpiece. And the Space Shuttle, which is completely not in scale for anything whatsoever. Let's see, who else we got? Who else? Classics Bumblebee. So those guys stack up there. Yeah, he's bigger than a Classics Deluxe, and that's where he should be. So, there you go. Let's see here. More Classics cars, just to really hammer it in. Tracks. So track stacks up there. I know John Lant would not forgive me if I didn't put tracks in here if I can't. Blaster, I would have put Blaster in here too, but there's just no way that would that would be relevant, because he transforms into a tape deck that is not in scale with anything. Okay. So there's tracks. Him, just because he's a newer figure, a little bit more relevant. So yeah, if you're going with the new deluxe scale vehicle modes, I mean, this guy is tiny, but still, it's not that far out of scale. I would imagine, because full military Hummer are pretty big. They're not little. They're not like the little ones we see driving around in town. And see, again, the tank's just not big enough here. And then, of course, the Space Shuttle's not either. Hot Rod. So those guys stack up. And I do apologize. This is going to be a long movie, or a long video of me just doing this. So, I just want to get these scales in there so everyone knows. Sunstreaker. Nobody really said anything when I asked who do you want to see in the video, and all I got was Classics cars. So jazz. We're just gonna do a bunch of Classics cars. So and a few others that I got, just to not only show scale of the Warbotron, but to show scale on them as well. So Throttlebot. This is a Toy World Throttlebot. Show how they put it there. Slightly mistransformed Toy World Throttlebot. The gumball from TFC. who, yeah, honestly, he's probably just a little too big. Yes, there they are. And let's do TFC's skydive. So here he is in jet mode. So I think that's about right. Just about. Then, of course, this isn't, but the cannon has a hinge on it, so every time I pick it up, I bend the hinge down. And here he is with the space shuttle. So these guys are about the same length. Yeah, just about the same length. And wingspan is about the same. So, I mean, these guys are actually pretty close in vehicle mode. So, there you go on that. We got Classics Prime. So you can see, you know, Prime is bigger in some spots, but smaller in others. Now Blastoff, you know, he just has this look of being a lot bigger than the other two. So, and maybe he is actually bigger, but he like these guys look like Voyagers, and then he looks like a very large Voyager, or maybe a very small Ultra class. Blitzwing. The biggest detail difference you're missing on this guy is the fact that he doesn't really have as good sculpt and design as these guys. But tank-wise, they're about the same. His cannon's longer, but his is thicker. And, oh, TFC Scrapper, who's definitely he's longer, taller, but not quite thicker. They're about the same thickness. So yeah, about that size. Brawl. Go. And just two more. Here they are next to the Classics Jetfire. I don't have the leader class yet, so yeah, he definitely looks bigger. Even though he's still a Voyager, just like Optimus, he looks bigger, and that's without all his add-ons, because I don't have his add-ons. And he is just those boosters when it comes to length. His boosters, he's got the width because his wingspan can go further. He doesn't have the girth, but I mean, yeah, they are about the same size. So there you go on that. There's that. And the last, but certainly not least, something more recent and relevant, Roadbuster. So, Roadbuster and Swindle are the same length, and they are about the same height, and I would say about the same width. He feels a lot more hollow, and he feels a lot more solid. That's for sure. But if you guys really want to know how big this swindle is, go pick up Roadbuster, and that's how big he is. There's a little bit more square instead of rounded, but yeah, they're about the same. Just about. And yeah, same with the Brawl. The Brawl is shorter because he's a tank. And then, there you go. So, Blast, okay. So, in closing, in vehicle mode with these guys, Swindle is the size of Roadbuster. Brawl is the size of Blastoff, or, not Blastoff, Blitzwing. And Blastoff is the size of Classic's Jetfire. And we'll get these guys all into robot mode and come back and complete this video. Alright, so to continue on my video, we got Blastoff here. And then we got Brawl. Swindle. And we're gonna just do some comparisons with some other robots. Show you how they all stack up together. Oh, I don't have his heels out. That's why he was kind of leaning back. So, flip his heels out here real quick. Just clip my fingernails, so it's kind of hard. Go. There we go. That's better. Alright. So, we're gonna go through the list of figures that we went through before. Starting with the ever popular Seeker mold. So you can see they're about, he comes up to a little over their waist. So yeah, let's see who else to throw in here. Gear Seeker. That you can see is to the head, he's just a hair taller than them. There's Tracks, just a little above their waist. Let's see, Jazz, who goes up, I would say about mid-chest, because he is one of the taller deluxes there were in his line. Bumblebee comes up to waist because he's one of the smaller deluxes of the time. We got TFC's Gumball. About mid-chest. He's about the same height as Jazz, actually. I don't know, he's a little bit taller. Just cruising along here. Here is Toy World's Aurora, who's just a hair taller than B. Sunstreaker, about mid-chest. So, yeah, he's definitely Swindle's bigger than him, but not by too much. Let's see here. Let's get these guys out of the way. So, Swindle is just about a head taller than Sunstreaker there. Because these guys are all about the same height, but just a little bit different here and there. Classics Hot Rod. Silver Streak. Mirage. TFC's Skydive. Depending on how you have his feet, if you have them all flattened out like this, he's about a head tall or head shorter. But if you take him and pull him down a little bit, why isn't he wanting to stand? Pull these thrusters out and give him a little bit more of a base. Oh, well. Stacks up there. Masterpiece Prowl. So he's about a head shorter than Blast Off, about half a head shorter than Swindle and Brawl. Classics Prime. He's about the same height, about a head shorter than Blast Off, half a head shorter than Brawl and Swindle. And then the let's see, Classics Jetfire. Again, about the same height as Prime. About a head shorter than Blast Off, half a head shorter than Brawl. Almost the same height as Swindle. Here's Blitzwing, who is, as you can see, he's actually just a hair taller than Blastoff. So he's taller than Brawl or Swindle. So if you're looking for a good scale, they are just a little shorter than the modern day Voyagers. And here's Roadbuster. So I stack up there. So he's almost the same height as Swindle, almost the same height as Brawl. Who else do I got right over here? Generations Soundwave, who's about the same height as them. I know I didn't show him off in car mode, but yeah, he's right here. Here's Unique Toys Blaster. About a head shorter than Blast Off. And here is Energon Shockwave, who is definitely a little taller with the antenna. He's taller than Blast Off. Without the antenna, he's about the same height. So yeah. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of what they scale like. My only concern is the fact that Brawl and Swindle here, they don't have a knee joint. I'm sure their Bruticus is supposed to have knee joints. Essentially these two are just shins, because they don't have the feet plates either. So they're, let's see, grab Fortis here, who's about the same height. So I mean, he's about the same height. They're about the same height as Mastermind Creations, but because they don't have that knee joint, in combined mode they're going to be a little bit bigger. Because, like I said, I mean, he's the knee joint, but not the foot. So he's going to be bigger. And I think I forgot to do this guy too. Here's TFC's Scrapper, who's about mid-chest. So yeah, they're definitely Voyager scale. I'm hoping their Onslaught is not massively huge. If he's like Razor Claw big, I'll be okay with that. You know, maybe a little bit bigger, but hopefully he's not like TFC's Razor Claw. That'd be my one concern. Because if they're that big, then they're going to be too big. Or he's going to be too big. But other than that, I think they scale really well if you're going for the bigger sized combiners and the bigger size scale, like I am now. Need to get Orion and Hegemon. I sold my Orion. Wish I didn't. But yeah. So yeah, there you go. These guys they're pretty cool. I really like them. They scale real well, like I said, with the Voyagers. I think, you know, honestly, they're probably a little too big to fit in with the other combiners. But at the same time, you know, it works. If you've got the Classic Seekers and you're kind of building a scale around them, then you might want to look at the Fans Project version of them, because they're smaller, even though the other three aren't quite in the same category, because they just don't look right. Or a Fall Cybertron Bruticus. I sold mine, otherwise I'd put them in here, but they're all deluxe scale. And I know Microblaze was supposed to come out in July, but we haven't heard anything from him since, so hopefully they're still making their set for those people that have the Fall Cybertron guy, or set, so they can have that Voyager Onslaught in there. But yeah, so yeah, this video's going a little bit longer than I was hoping, so I'll cut it short. My question is, what do you guys think of the scale? Does this work for you, or would you prefer smaller, bigger? I'm still very excited for it. I think this is going to be a good set. Now that we got the initial first bad figure out of the way, which was Blast Off. Brawl's pretty solid, and so is Swindle. I really like Swindle's transformation. I think it's very, very good, and I'm very excited for Vortex. I think he's next, and then Onslaught. So hopefully we'll have the set complete by the end of the year. Hopefully we'll have the Predacons complete by the end of the year too. So anyway, I guess that's all there is for this.